From LA Late headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Afternoons LA Late.
It's a big afternoon as 7 new stimulus checks are released. We'll go over breaking news on this big afternoon broadcast. Plus, the latest details on those lifetime benefits. Boy, it is a great day. We'll have a lot to go over. Plus, a series of major downgrades for major stocks. What you need to know as a earnings recession heats up. Plus, the ways of your benefits. The biggest lift of a generation, a lifetime stimulus. We'll go over the big money at issue. And then new data from housing. We need to come in today, and what did it say? It says housing recession. We'll go over the latest details across the board. But step one, become a member. You are watching LA Link. And today we have 7 new stimulus checks passed by Congress over the weekend. And we have now lifetime stimulus. The biggest payout we've ever had a generation. We're going to go over all these incredible checks for you, and you deserve about $100,000 plus 7 new checks plus the big issue of that lifetime benefits. Step 1, go into the video, become a member, and step 2, stay the big second half. But it's a big week, and we're just getting started. New inflationary data, new recessionary data, new raise of your benefits, and new corporate earnings getting downgrades. We're just getting started. And the news out of the housing market today, not relatively robust either, with the housing market signaling it's in a recession. While the latest details on that, plus supply chain disruption, it's not as disruptive as before, so that means your lobster shorts for a while on time. Oh no, that's not we were doing so well up to that point. More bacon, yes, just not on Sunday. More ability to get sent to Hostile on time, yeah, but that's not disruptive. That's actually a little bit obstructive. And this recording will go over all the big money forecasts, the big signing news and more money, and the big signing news of a very confusing economy, the global recession, there's inflation, the Federal Reserve, and labor, the latest details on the housing. Oh boy, it's a big broadcast. Big money and big news is just starting a big new week in the short Santa Monica, California. I'm excited to hear, see the very end. We have a lot of money to go over in today's recording. Your inflation, your benefit rates, your housing market, and of course that unemployment. The fourth stimulus and the breaking news starts right here, right now, as Santa Monica kicks up its feet for another big broadcast of Afternoons LA, starting right now for a beautiful August 15th, 2022. And good afternoon, everybody. It's a big day with a lot of money at issue, and we start with that major story that broke on Sunday on LA. 7 new stimulus checks passed by Congress over the weekend, and lifetime stimulus, the biggest stimulus you've seen of a generation. The celebration developed overnight, and we're going to go more over those checks in just a second. But first, we're going to start with that earnings recession. More companies getting hit today. Downgrades, they're not reporting earnings, but they're downgraded by a series of analysts. We'll go over the latest details on that starting right now. The indication of a recession is most manifest in when corporations cannot deliver the earnings that they normally deliver. And now, Wall Street analysts say, get ready for more downgrades left and right. The details coming in minutes ago. Series of major stocks taking tumbles today. And what are they? Well, let's look at them starting right now. A lot of familiar faces, and what you need to know is really not where it should be. The latest details on those earnings recessions are the following. Vroom, shares down substantially 3% as JP Morgan downgraded the stock today. Revolve down 2% as a downgrade came in today from Barclays. Green Plains down 3% as Bank of America downgraded as well. And then you go to Comcast, the cable operator, down 1% as a Atlanta Equities downgrade was announced today. Downgrades, because they believe that there is going to be an impact for their businesses because of the recession. And then finally, Dollar General, a very familiar staple business that people go for, cheaper items, got a full major hit today. A note from BMO Capital Partners says that the retailer has fully priced in recession expectations. Wow, there you go. And that stock declined 1% on the news across the board. So they have actually embedded in a full recession to the price of the stock today. The stock is down 1%. That earnings recession is manifesting itself not just there, but also in the housing side. In the housing side today, we have a series of major details coming in, and they're a little bit more blunt. They actually say there is a recession in the housing market. The housing market got the latest details today, August 15, 2022, from the National Association of Home Builders, and that data was about as blunt as it can be. They actually said the housing market is now in a recession. Let's go over the breaking news of what was said by the housing market minutes ago, and it's not particularly good. It comes after the week of nearly a month ago when the home builders dropped, housing starts fell, and also existing home sales fell across the board. What happened on that housing data indicating recession today as well? The National Association of Home Builders Housing Market Index was released this morning, and it's the eighth consecutive straight decline in the index. That's not good. The NHB's chief economist Robert Dietz spoke about the news today. Tighter monetary policies from the Federal Reserve and persistent elevated costs have brought us into a housing recession. So he's very blunt. He says we're in a housing recession. Don't think we're not. We are in a housing recession. Let's go over the data because you don't even need to go to the analysis. The data is very apparent. They release this index for housing every month, and this month was down. What else has happened with the prior months? This is the eighth consecutive month down. The eighth consecutive month of decline, and we have never seen anything like this. In fact, it was briefly down when the start of the pandemic for 1 month, and the last time before that it was down was in 2014. So the fact that it's 8 consecutive months down is no bueno. It drops 6 points today to 49. Anything below a 50 is considered positive, is considered negative, and we've never seen 8 consecutive months down of decline. The comment from the NHB chief economist is very clear. We are now in a housing recession. There you go. Sales conditions continue. Sales expectations, and buyer traffic are all being hurt. On the sales conditions, down 7%, 7 points to 57. Sales expectations are down 6 months to 2 points from 47. And then buyer traffic fell across the board. What's the issue for housing? Affordability has fallen dramatically. And this is as inflation may have peaked. The total volume of single-family homes have posted a decline for 2022, the first decline since 2011. This is a nonprofit organization. This is a third-party organization that tracks the industry, and they say they're in a recession. Wow. Let's jump over to another breaking story we're working on today, which is supply chain disruption. You've wanted to get the lobster shorts in store very quickly. Not me, you. And you have not been able to get those lobster shorts in store really quickly. Well, now there's less supply chain disruption, and now you can get that San Francisco house style whenever you want to get it. Just don't tell me about it. The latest details of supply chain disruption has eased. You know, it was over the weekend. I said in one of the live shows, I went to the market and they were fully stocked with goods. Have you seen it? Jump in the live chat. Have you seen it that the stores are suddenly fully stocked with the goods you've been missing for, weeks and months on end? That favorite item you wanted, they say it's out of stock. It's backed up. I went in on the weekend and they were fully stocked head to toe, and the prices look a little bit more normalized. Supply is up while demand is stable, but the price of trucking has doubled since 2019, says a new report from Case Freight Index data released today. So they're indicating that supply chain has eased. That's good news. But that freight cost is still up 28% year to date, but has declined to 2% over the month of July. So let's digest that. This is really important because this impacts your benefits, because this is inflation. Supply chain disruptions originally caused inflation to go up because you couldn't get the product from the manufacturer to you. Then we had the gasoline, then we had all that. But the supply chain disruption has been easy, and today we see it's easing a lot. We see that the freight costs are still up year to date, but they have declined 2% over the month of July. And moreover, the product's demand is stabilized. So we don't have that big surge of people wanting products that stabilize. And the prices have pulled back a little bit across the board. I think that price stability will not manifest itself in food and consumer goods, because we see that number going up in the last week. But we will see the ability to get the product in the store easier and the shipping cost to come down a little bit because it has been up so much year to date. We're coming to this peak season when there's much more freight capacity. So they say they have more ability to put the product on the shelves. And I think it's going to be a good thing for a cost perspective for those big retailers who have been struggling with a lot of cost inflation, says the report obtained by Allied News today, the Case Freight Report. The market balance has really shifted, and it's steady on the demand perspective, but supply has grown. And it still says that you need about a million new truckers across the board. Wow. What do you also need? Four stimulus check in every U.S. state. In the second half of this video, we're going to go over those four stimulus checks in every U.S. state. And the great news today is that there's now 7 more of them. 7 more of them. And tonight, for August 15th, 2022, it'll be the first newsletter that'll feature the 7 new checks. Did you become a member yet? Go around this video, become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power Cow, Casino VIP. Become a member and get those incredible brand new checks being delivered to this recording. If you were watching on Sunday, which you were because the numbers were through the roof, I had a special report at a special time of 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time that there was 7 new stimulus checks that had just become law. 7 new stimulus checks. This is in addition to the lifetime stimulus. This is in addition to the 4 stimulus checks in every U.S. state. And this is huge. And tonight is the first night that it goes into the membership newsletter. Those 7 stimulus checks are absolutely incredible. Let's go over them right now. 7 stimulus checks became law over the weekend when they were passed by Congress, and I'm giving them affection lettering system. It picks up where the lettering system on this channel ended, and it starts at check E, goes all the way to check K. 7 checks. Let's look at them right now. Check E, a $7,500 payout. Check F, a $4,000 payout. Check G, a percentage payout, 30% credit. Check H, a $2,000 payout. Check I and J, the same payout, but they're both $8,000. And then check K, $14,000. Incredible. These are incredible. Passed by a piece of legislation over the weekend. They are the series of checks on top of check A, B, and C, and of course D in some states. A, B, and C are in every single state. We're going to go over those incredible checks, about $100,000 of them in the big second half. But let's take a preview of those $100,000 of 4 stimulus checks in every U.S. state, starting right now. The President of the United States did these by executive action in the month of March, and viewers have been getting them ever since because they became members, and they've been pouncing in these huge checks. Let's look at these A, B, and C checks, which we're going to go over in the big second half. What do they look like? How do they happen? What's at issue? And what do you need to know? These incredible checks are in every U.S. state, about $100,000. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. If you're on benefits, if you're not on benefits, if you rent, if you own, $100,000, several checks approximately. We're going to go over all these incredible checks in the big second half, done by executive action from Joseph Biden. You want to get them. Huge sums of money. And how do you get them? You become a member. Welcome to the brand new members that joined today. Welcome to the returning members, and welcome to the upgrading members. These are the checks. There will be no other checks in another form. This is the way it works now. This is the way you do it now. And this is the way you clean up right now. And in the big second half, actually not in the big second half, in the next 3 minutes, stay with me. I have a new success story. A person got 14 checks. Wow. Incredible, great news. Now let's go back over to that other big stimulus story brewing left and right, lifetime stimulus. Lifetime stimulus, and it means exactly what it sounds like, a lifetime. It's huge, and what is it? It's the raise of your benefits across the board. The raise of your benefits across the board is you. And it's because inflation's not peaked or is peaked, and it's because your benefits are going up so much. Let's go over what's at issue. It is you if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, and more. Let's go over where this came from. Then we'll go over how it works, and then we'll go over the calculation, and then we'll do some analysis together. It starts by understanding that your benefits are impacted by inflation. And it starts by understanding that inflation was going up higher all throughout this year. Last year, I said inflation was going to go higher. I was right. I said it was going to be 8% by December. I was right. Then I said it was going to be pervasive and not go down. I was right. Now, as the Federal Reserve said, it was going to be 2% temporary. Not happening. So what happened then with inflation in the month of May? Let's look at the details across the board. Inflation went really high in the month of May. It was 8.6% out of control, went higher than the month of April. Then in the month of June, went even higher. This all helps your benefits. Let's look at the data right now. In the month of May, it came in at a whopping, the inflationary print, CPI, Consumer Price Index, what you pay in the stores, 8.6. In the month of June, it wasn't on there. A whopping 9.1%. Incredible. And guess what happened thereafter? Well, we had the July data last week. This raised your benefits up across the board. Now, what were we watching on August 10th last week? Because I know you were watching, you tuned in massive numbers. You knew that was a big day. The July CPI. The July CPI was released August 10th, and that number surged really high, but not as high as the month of June. Remember, the data is released 1 month out. Did it pull back a little bit? How much? About a half percentage point. It was not a major pullback. It's basically perceived as flat, and that's great news for your benefits. Because if inflation stays flat for June, July, August, you're in a great spot for those numbers the day after the data for the PPI was released. Now, let's do something a little bit different today. Let's jump right into the benefits, and then we'll go back to the inflation so you understand the impact on this for your money, and then we'll go back into the inflation to analyze this out. So let's go right into the benefits. If inflation basically stays flat where it is right now for 2 more months, your benefits are going to go up a lot. Who? You. If you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, multiple benefits, or about to go on benefits. If you're not a beneficiary but about to go on benefits, it's all you. Direct deposit, otherwise in the mail. You don't have to do anything. It's automatic. And yes, this is huge sums of money. It would come by direct deposit, otherwise in the mail. However, you get your benefits check, and it would be a lifetime. It's huge. It's absolutely incredible. So let's look at that graphic to understand how this works. It's you, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits. Number 2, 3 months of data determines the situation. And number 3, finally, it's a lifetime. Let's go over how this works. Your benefits are tied to something called COLA, cost of living adjustment. And it's determined by another number. The CPI released over 3 months. July released last week, August 10th. The August data released in September 10th, approximately, and the September data released on October 10th. If inflation stays relatively flat for 2 more months, because we just got the first month, then your benefits are going up a lot. How much? Some of you 5,000, some of you more than 5,000, some of you less than 5,000, but the same percentage across the board. And this, my friends, is lifetime. Lifetime stimulus. Can you imagine how delicious that sounds? It really is incredible. Because once your benefits go up, they never go down. It's incredible. Once your benefits go up, they never go down. So let's say next year inflation pulls back, it's only 2%. You still get this lift from this year lifetime. And guess what? You get another 2% lift on top of that. That is why this lifetime benefits is so incredible. All right, now that we've done that, let's pull it back and go over where the number would likely land, what percentage your benefits would go up. When that number was released for the CPI last week, August 10th, that's Consumer Price Index CPI, came in at 8.5%. The Seniors League looked at the 8.5 CPI and said they're analyzing and saying your benefits are going to go up 10.1%. What's my analysis situation? My analysis situation I'm going to do with you. So we're going to see whether you agree with me or disagree. It's fine if you disagree with me. Ultimately, I think the number could be a little bit higher. Let's go over why, starting right now. First, the reason why the CPI pulled down about half a percentage point from the month of June to July was one number: gasoline. Gasoline really pulled back in that 1 month. But the analysts all say the gasoline is not going to stay at these lower levels right now indefinitely. Why? Big pumping of the gasoline at the refineries. They're full capacity. Number 2, as you get into those early winter months in the fall, refineries will go offline because of hurricanes and tornadoes, and the demand increases. So the demand will increase, the production will decrease. Gasoline's not going to stay this cheap. It's going to go back up. Number 2, there's a lot of numbers in that CPI that determine the next month's CPI, and there's no indication that those numbers are going to go down. They're either flat or going higher. Which are the ones going higher? Food and energy are going up every single month. They have not gone down. In fact, this month, this data we had last week, they went up. Though that's what we call the core CPI. The milk, the eggs, the butter are still up in the June to July period. So from July to August, there's no indication they're going to go back down at all. And then one of the biggest components of the CPI is shelter, rent. If the landlord has a 1-year lease with you, he's not going to cut the price of rent in the middle of the lease. And if he's just signing you for rent this month, then guess what? There's no indication that the landlord needs to go cheaper on rent this month compared to the prior month. There's no indication of that whatsoever. Salary raises have also been hitting. You think someone's going to cut people's salaries? Not right now, no. So there's nothing really indicative in this period from July to now, August, that suggests anything would go lower than July. So what's my analysis? And it may be wrong, but this is my analysis, is that I see shelter, labor going, I see rent going up. I see food potentially going up a little bit more than flattening out, but I don't see it going down. I see gasoline going back up somewhat. And then other than that, I don't see anything dramatically going down. So why would the August data be substantially lower? It may just be a wash away and just basically be flat, and that works for you. Incredible, great news across the board. The issue is that you and I may not have to wait for 2 more months of data. Why? Because we have a lot of inflation data that's released in between, and you and I can analyze the situation first. If you're in the supermarket, you're buying that eggs and milk, focus on the brand you're buying over the next few weeks. Watch the price. Is the price going down? Is the price going up? I've been watching it. I've seen the prices go down. I've seen some of the prices go down for milk and eggs. I've seen some of the prices that were crazy prices. You know those items that were just like, wait a second, that's a crazy price. The crazy prices have gone away. But overall, some of the core items like butter are really high. Oh, you know what's really high? I just remember yogurt. Yogurt, it's just crazy high. I mean, yogurt that would be $3 or $2 is $5.50, $6.50. It's crazy high. So there's something wrong going off yogurt. Yo plot you. Yo plot you. Yo plate you. No, all the yogurt is really high. I have no idea why. I'll take it up with Sir Lloyd when I see him on set. So there you go. This is why I had to become a member. Go right in this video, become a member, because all this details is in the membership newsletter. One of the things that's winning big time for viewers is the worksheets. Where are the worksheets? Number one question in the membership newsletter. Membership newsletter, first line is wheat prices today, corn prices today, oil prices today. The next line is this, the worksheets. The worksheet has been a real game changer for a lot of people because there's a lot of checks for you to get. How many checks are now available for you to get in the newsletter? There's check A, check B, check C. And check A is really just one check. Check B can be upwards of 100 checks. You can see that in a second. Check C is 12 places per month times 5 checks. That's a lot for 18 months. You know, that is a lot of checks. And then we have the 7 new checks on top of that. There's a lot of checks in the newsletter. So you need something to keep track of it. And that is why we have the worksheets. Let's go over page 1 of the worksheets. What are the worksheets? They're PDF. You could print them out on your cell phone and take notes. But the first page of the worksheets, what do we have on inflation? So on inflation, we have the indication that supply chain disruption may be easing. We have no indication that inflation has dropped dramatically. Over the weekend, I reported that inflation has peaked, but that's the top line number. That's the headline number, the marquee number. When you look at the core numbers, which just went over, rent and food, they're still going up. Recession. Wow, there was a lot of breaking news in that first half about recession. A recession is upon us in purpose of the housing market. So that housing market is in a full recession. Although the latest details on this recession for this economy in the big second half. Labor. Well, Thursday we had the new jobless claims. I'm projecting 265,000. I'm projecting a rise up from 260 last week. Again, that would be the highest number of 2022. And Federal Reserve. I gave a very stern projection over the weekend. Let's see if I get this one right. I'm projecting the Federal Reserve, when they come back in September, will do 75 basis points. I was the first really to say that. Now all Wall Street analysts are saying that as well. But what they're saying is that's basically the final raise. No, I'm saying there's going to be 75 in September, 75 in October, 75 in November, and potentially 75 in December. Oh, yeah, I'm going in. Oh, yeah, I'm going in. Everyone's going to think I'm crazy. Put me on that crazy booth and check back in December and see how many 75 basis point raises the Federal Reserve did. Why do I say that? Because the Federal Reserve has made very clear they're trying to get inflation down to 2%, and they've gotten it nowhere. They haven't moved it a mere smidgen in 8 months. The second page of the Credible newsletter is a worksheets is this one. A great place to keep track of all your stimulus that you're applying for. Imagine how many checks that are now in the newsletter. Imagine how big this channel has gotten. Imagine how big this Purple Power community has gotten. Imagine how well you're doing across the board as a member of this channel. You got to keep track of all these incredible checks. And here's another success story. Over the weekend, one viewer sent me a beautiful message on Facebook. She got 14 months of rent. Sounds familiar? Yes, but it's a different viewer. Another viewer the day before, 2 days before, got 14 months of rent. Another viewer that same day got 12 months of utilities. It's just incredible success story. I'm so proud of you. Keep on doing it. Keep on getting checks. Spelly also got check A and he got check C's. And then another viewer got 80 to 100 checks. What was that? She had filled out the worksheet for check B and forgot that she had filled it out. So she got a wonderful message from her state of Florida. It said, ma'am, you've been approved for check B. Incredible, great news. But she had forgotten that she had applied. So she went to look at her notes and said, oh, she got mortgage. Great. 1 month? No. 18 months. 18 months of mortgage? Yes. Really that incredible. It gets better than that. In addition to those 18 months of mortgage, what did she also apply for? Her utilities. Imagine she has 4 or 5 months of 4 or 5 utilities bills per month. That is 4 utilities plus the mortgage every month. That's 5 checks per month. 5 checks per month times 18 months. Wow. 18 to 100 checks. Excuse me, 80 to 100 checks. 5 times 18 is astronomical numbers of checks. Astronomical numbers of checks. And you see, this is not a rare circumstance anymore. It's happening all the time. That's why you want to become a member. Let's go to those other pages of the worksheet. So we have in there gasoline. Gasoline is tracking a little bit higher the last 2 days. Came up from that 94, 95, heading back to 98. It will be going up, back up. And then we have the benefit raises. Well, we went over that as well. One of the pages of the worksheets is the benefit raises. Take your current benefits, check, and then go over variations of what the raise could be. You heard the Social Security seniors group saying 10.1 is a possible likelihood. So to calculate that possibility out, it's just a possibility. You take your current check, let's say $1,000 a month times 1.10. That would mean you get $1,100 a month, not $1,000 going forward. And that would be lifetime. You can try other numbers like 8%. That would be times 1.08. That would be $1,080 more per month. So you get $80 more per month instead of $100 more per month. Really different ways you're going to run it. And then the student loan debt forgiveness and the gasoline, the last 2 pages of the worksheet, those will be featured in prime time on evenings. Today we have a lot coming up in the big second half, and the latest details we're seeing in this big day is that now analysts really understand that there is really clearly a recession. There really is clearly a recession, and I got to tell you, when I look at the data that came in today, when I look at the reports that came in today, I sort of wanted to say to myself, what happened? Because just yesterday I was recording Camp 1 and Camp 2. Camp 1 saying there's no recession, Camp 2 saying there's a recession. And today, Camp 1, which is the Wall Street, the equity investors, stocks, say when you look at Dollar General, they have embedded recession into their stock. Okay, that's pretty blunt. Recession into their stock. How can you be Camp 1 if Dollar General has a recession embedded into their stock? You go over the housing market. Housing market, the National Association of Home Builders saying we're in a housing recession. A housing recession. So it's just the housing industry has a recession, no one else has a recession. Camp 1 is trying to look like a very unpopular camp. Camp 1 is starting to look a little deserted today, don't you think? Camp 1 is it's going to go on hiatus. Camp 1 is going to be abandoned pretty soon because it's starting to look really ridiculous being in Camp 1 anymore. Housing markets are in recession. Stocks are trading down because of the belief that they're in recession. And here's what you need to know. In a recession, some companies do well and some companies don't do well. Apple has billions of dollars in cash on hand, so Apple's not going to disappear off the face of the earth. Over the weekend, I had a report for you that said Apple believes it may sell as many iPhones this Christmas as it did last year, even though we may be in recession. That means that different companies survive different types of economic downturns than others. Doesn't mean there's no recession. If Apple sells as many iPhones this Christmas, does not mean there's no recession in this economy. It just means they're able to survive it differently. That is what's important to understand going into the big second half. It's also important to get as much stimulus. So going into this video, become a member, Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP. And in the big second half, we'll go over this big sums of money one at a time. Oh boy, it's getting exciting. Are you feeling excited? I am as well. Get ready because the big second half has a lot of money and a lot of other breaking news to go over. For the shores of Santa Monica, California, we're just getting started on a big week and a big afternoon's broadcast. See you back in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LA Late Daily for the excitement of the new LA Late live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LA Late at 9 a.m. Home LA Late returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LA Late at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LA Late. And the excitement continues right now in a big second half for afternoons for August 15, 2022. Major questions across the board with a major week at issue. Will those unemployment claims surge to 265? That's what I'm projecting. And what about your benefits? How much more would they go up? We'll have more about that tonight on Evenings LA. But step one, go under this video, become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP, because this is a channel that's winning for you. Lifetime stimulus, 7 new stimulus checks, and now we're going to go over those first 3 checks, starting right now. So much money, so much little time. You need to get these big sums of money. Become a member, Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP, and let's go over all these incredible checks starting right now. Back in the month of March, viewers said, LA, can you find us some checks? And that was the start of what happened today. And those incredible checks were those first 3 checks, check A, B, and C. But I always told you I was going to find more checks, and I did them over the weekend. 7 new checks on top of that. Back in the month of March, viewers said, find us checks, and I got them. 2 focus at the time. Big checks, because there's going to be a big recession. I was the first to report there would be a recession in February this year. People thought I was crazy. And broad eligibility and ease to get those incredible checks. First, about $100,000. About $100,000 across these first 3 checks. A, B, and C. Second, broad eligibility. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. If you rent, if you own, if you're on benefits, if you're not on benefits, go get it across the board. They're in every U.S. state because they're federal stimulus. They're not from your state. They're every single state. They're not paid from the state. They're not sent out from the state. They're from the federal government. They are huge. Finally, so easy to get them. Just going down into the membership newsletter, click, 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 apply, 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 put all together for you. You don't have to do anything but just follow the instructions of the newsletter and go right in and go get them. And now let's go over those incredible checks, starting with the first check, check A. Check A was the very first check I found, $6,500 to $12,000 for stimulus check in every U.S. state. It's called the Weatherizing Grant. And it is absolutely incredible. This is the check that Spelly got, $6,500 to $12,000. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. And how do you get it? Step 1, go under the video and become a member. There it is. Join the channel. Then go down the membership newsletter. You find check A. Click the link and you go right in and apply. It sends you into the nationwide website. Choose your state, choose the Weatherizing Grant, and go get it. So simple across the board. Get that incredible check A. But you're not done there yet. You can go check B. Check B obviously is right after that in the newsletter. Under A is B. That's pretty obvious. $15,000 to $80,000. This is the check that viewer out of Florida got. She got 80 to 100 checks from this. And it's $15,000 to $80,000, but obviously people are getting more than $80,000. How do you get that check B? Go down in the under the video, join the channel, also subscribe, and then go to the membership newsletter where it says check B. Click the link, goes right into your nationwide website, choose your state, and go get it. So simple. Look at check A, look at check B. That is $100,000 right there. We're just getting started. You're going to also go get check C. Check C is for rent, utilities, mortgage, assistance, and more. One viewer got that 14 months of rent. The other viewer got another 14 months. And third viewer got 12 months of utilities. Spelly got some check C's as well. Check C has been on this channel for a very long time. It predates fourth stimulus. It predates third stimulus. It has been around a long time, and the success stories are robust. The thing you need to know about check C is there's a lot of check C's. You could have 4 utility bills. You could have the rent and the mortgage. You have 12 places to reach out to. You have 18 months, 22 months, 24 months. You have a lot of check C's to get. And that ultimately, this had originally started with me saying to viewers get 3 to 4 months of things. And then they went to go gain 1 year of things, 1 year of checks. And now they're getting 18 months of checks. So obviously take what I teach you and then go bigger and bolder. Let's look at these numbers, which was back when people were getting 3 to 4 months of items. Want these numbers for rent, go get check C's. Incredible. Congratulations. Want these incredible numbers for utilities? Congratulations. Go get check C's. Snap. Wow. One viewer is getting $250,000 over 10 years. That's Mark's brother-in-law. Combinations. Nisi from $23,000 to $50,000. Mark from $32,000 to $166,000. He went from 32 to this graphic, then 50 to 100, then 166. Lorraine, she went from 105 to 155. And you know, I gotta laugh. It was though I had staged it, but I had it. On the weekend, on Sunday, when the news broke with a special report at 4 o'clock, which you would only really have known there would have been a show at that time slot because we don't have a show at 4 o'clock, because you remember, I said, hey, there's 7 new checks coming. Special report. Turn on your phone, turn on your computer, come and watch me because I got 7 new checks. Guess who was in the live chat? The same people who I always give the example about. They're always in the live chat because when there's something breaking, you need to know what it is. Margot was on the live chat. I think Lorraine was on the live chat. As soon as I said there were 7 new checks, bam, they were right in there because they needed to know exactly what was going on. It's first come, first serve. It's Stimulus Stampede. It's sort of like, your favorite rock group, your favorite pop band. The tickets go on sale, or there was a free Elmo giveaway, or they're doing 2-for-1 lobster shorts. No, there's no line for that one. They're doing San Francisco hairstyles. No, they're running the other way. But, there's often lines for things, and this is one of the things that you want to be first in the door on, and that is why they were ready to pounce. That's what we call Purple Power Hawks. I haven't said this in a long time. In fact, maybe I forgot it myself. The reason why it was called the Hawks, it was originally purple, then it was Purple Power, and then the way the hawk came from was I said, you need to pounce and get this money before anyone else, like a hawk. You know how hawks sort of swirl? I think I have the graphic actually, where hawks sort of swirl and they see something, they come down their prey and they pounce. I said you have to pounce and get the money. That was where the expression I created the specialist channel for Purple Hawks. Was first we were purple, then we were Purple Power, and then the hawk expression was pouncing, getting things before other people. That is why you want to be a Purple Hawk. Or a Purple Power, Calcino VIP, because you want to pounce to get money before it's gone. And that is why you do so well. Incredible news across the board. Now, let's go over to what you need to do. Step 1, go on in this video, subscribe. You're watching LA Late, the number 3 most watched financial news channel in America. But boy, folks, we are just days away. I almost wanted to launch it today, but I don't know if I can. Days away from the launch of LA 2 and LA 3, the 2 new channels coming to this family of broadcasting. This is the broadcasting network you want to watch. A lot of shows, a lot of programming, a lot of channels coming to it. LALate.com, the news site that started all 20 years ago, relaunched with the latest news on your money nightly. Then the live show has been a really big hit. It's now 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on this channel. I have to say which channel because there will be live shows on the other 2 channels as well. And then finally, the incredible excitement of everything that is happening here. And there is so much excitement, so much euphoria, so much camaraderie, so much kindness. So keep on bringing it. I'm so excited for all the brand new members, existing members, and returning members. Go on this video, subscribe. Number two, make sure you subscribe to the other two new channels, LA2 and LA3. Join this channel to become a member, get that membership newsletter, and go down into that membership newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You want to see the membership newsletter? Let's look at that membership newsletter together right now as a family. The membership newsletter is delivered to you as a member Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube alerts. What does it look like? How does it operate? What's at issue? Let's look at everything you need to know, starting right now. That wonderful membership newsletter is important to remember when it's delivered. It's delivered 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is a different time zone because we have different time zones for different people. 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 9 o'clock Central, again, 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, know your time zone. It's delivered via YouTube alerts. So however you have your YouTube alerts set up, if it goes by email, we're going to go over an example of a YouTube alert by email in just a second, or otherwise it pops up in your phone. Here's a YouTube alert. See the title for members only, new LA post. See the time, 7 o'clock. See who sent it, YouTube, but I wrote it. And see the body. See the body. It has 4 mailbox emojis and says LA newsletter. I'll go in tighter so you see it closer in just a second. Go down the alert. We're looking at the alert. See that? That's how you recognize the alert. This is the only one that comes to 7 o'clock. We have no other alert that comes to 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So I know you get other alerts throughout the day. This is the only one at 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Listen carefully. The only one that comes to 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. That's how you differentiate it. And there you go. That is the alert. You go down the alert past the guy with the surfboard, past him. There he is. He's smiling at you. And then it says click view post. You click the view post and you go around and get that credible sums of money. And yes, starting tonight, August 15th, 2022, and every night thereafter, you will now have those 7 new stimulus items in there. The 7 new stimulus items are very, very unusual. They're very robust. It'll send you a link to another page to read about them because an alert, a post on YouTube can only be so many lines long. So our newsletters are now too long. So the newsletters actually, yeah, it click here. There's a lot of clicking because there's a lot in that newsletter. And it's a newsletter on Red Bull. It's a newsletter on caffeine. So much details across the board. One of the major issues that's heating up is this recession. And today we really understand how those people who said that there was no recession are in Camp 1 are starting to look a little bit peculiar. Why? Well, we first have the downgrades of the companies today. The downgrades of companies who have now embedded recession to the valuation of their price. We have the labor market that is really big problems with 260,000 new jobless claims. That's not indicative of recession unto itself. We have the inflationary pressures that are causing the Federal Reserve to raise rates. Here's what you need to know for data, and then we'll go over the analysis. For data, a recession starts in different ways in different parts of the country in different industries. So a recession is not universal. At the same time, same place, same manner, every industry at the same day. And yet, some analysts on Wall Street want you to believe that. That's not true. So recessions often start in different parts of the country before other parts. They may hit one industry like housing before other industries like auto. They may impact certain parts of an industry, let's say the shipping, but not the labor. And to present a narrative of what a recession is and recession is because of what's happened on day one is just ridiculous. Recession moves and changes over the period of the recession. And recessions are not a few days. They're not a few months. They're a long time. And that recessionary environment does not stop until there's a reason for it to stop. And here's what you need to know. The Federal Reserve has made very clear they're going to raise rates. And they're going to continue to raise rates to get inflation down. They made that clear. So there's no reason to believe that it's anything other than that. If the Federal Reserve continues to raise rates, why is that different than anything we've seen for almost a decade? Because we've lived in an environment in which for almost a decade where rates have been zero. And because they've been zero, there's been a lot of opportunity for you, ability to have debt, mortgage, credit card debt, loans, has been almost no interest on those items. Now, runaway interest rates that go higher and higher and higher makes it a totally different economic environment. And so, for any analyst that says this economic environment is the same as last year's economic environment where we didn't have those runaway rates, that's incorrect. Number two, some businesses can survive that, but others cannot. The small mom and pop that has to have a loan to buy their inventory for their bakery. If they can't afford the loan because the interest rates are through the roof, they can't run the bakery shuts down. Apple, if they have trillions of dollars of cash on hand, they can afford higher interest rates. They have a lot of cash on hand. They're a publicly traded company. So you see how there's different parts of the equation. Finally, when analysts want to continually find good news and try to say there's no recession because there's good news, that's also what's not indicative of a recession. Recession often has moments of great news, peaks and valleys, peaks and valleys. Bitcoin is above 25,000 today. Great. Am I celebrating? No. Why? Because Bitcoin should be above 35,000. And the fact that Bitcoin is above 25,000 after several months doesn't show any real success across the board. But it also doesn't show it's a recession, doesn't show it's inflation, doesn't show it's much of anything. It just shows it's going up and down. That's all it really shows. And yet people sometimes try to embed too much into the story. Too much into the story. That is why you need to stay hard with the data. The data, number one, that you should be watching is the inflationary data. Any inflationary data that gives you guidance on where this economy is going is important to you because it shows you how much your benefits are going up. Number two, pay attention to what you're paying for the products. The milk, the eggs, the gasoline. Pay attention to what you're paying for the products. You see that coming down in price, you're going to see that ease in inflation before I see it. Number three, labor. Focus on the labor. We've been doing this a long time on this channel. Focus on how many people in the store, how many people at the checkout stand in Walmart. Less than last week, same as the month before, more than the month before. Watch it and pay attention because you'll see the impact of that labor switcher. And it's because when companies make less money, they cut the labor. That's what they do. And finally, don't be risky. Don't be risky. Don't be running up credit card debt. Don't be running up debt. Don't be spending for things you can't afford. Don't be carrying things on debt that you should be paying for cash. Don't presume that everything is great news across the board. And stay with the details. I love you to death. You've been doing a really great job over the recent weeks. You've been doing a really good job. You understand that this is a very confusing economy. And someone in the live chat just right before this show tape said, this guy is going to really guide you through. He's going to guide you through and he's going to really give you a good sense of what you need to watch for. I appreciate that compliment because that's exactly what I aspire to do. I aspire to really guide you through. And that the fact that you want to be guided through, the fact that you want to learn, the fact that you want to earn by learning, the fact that you want to be trained to be improved with your knowledge of how to observe things, of how to sense recession, how to sense inflation, how to sense change of what's going on with your town and community economically. By just watching a video and having a fun interaction with your fellow friends, how you can take that fun interaction and make it a learning experience to keep you ahead of the ball game is why this family works. I'll see you next on Eden's LA at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. If you're watching the show in the live chat, in a live broadcast, jump in there and I'll tag you if you're a new member with a big old welcome or a returning member. It's a big day and it's a big week. We're just getting started. Go on to this video, become a member if you have not, and get ready for the latest details tonight. We'll see more of the breaking news across the board. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, stay cool, stay calm, stay on focus, stay motivated, and stay liquid. Keep as much cash on hand and do not raise that debt. Do it right and do it correctly, and you will get through this entire week because we're just getting started. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, God bless. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LA for more.